All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for A
Place Further Than the Universe. Episode 11. Okay,
yeah.
we're in Antarctica. They've settled in.
They've seen penguins.
They've seen penguins. Or
Yes.
pengy.
But also, Yuzuki had a very sweet interaction in the last episode with them as she was doubting whether or not they were actually friends. And she was like, I need some sort of proof. I need you guys to sign a contract of friendship. And they're just like, oh, I can't say anything. We gotta say something. We got a surprise, but I don't want to tell. And Shirase was like, I'm so bad at it.
I'm just gonna eat my food.
Hinata was trying to explain it to her. Well, you see, and they did it. They gave her a birthday party, and it was so wonderful and precious.
Wonderful.
Oh,
and now, maybe into the more work side of things.
Work side of things, potentially going into the observatory. Potentially going out, actually onto the snow in the kind of more hostile environment.
Right, like showing them doing like the tracking their lines and and all that stuff like they did in practice.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah. So we're excited, guys. So without further ado, let's get into this. Ooh, blizzard. What? Wait. No, what? Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Yes, I have a turtle hamster who named me.
Oh, because
the sunburn, That's the kind of thing that hurts the most.
Oh, her friends from old sports
that's
friends.
Right. That's awkward. That's awkward.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, they had been seeding that for a while, so
They
I'm
had.
glad they're bringing that up.
Yeah.
And having a Hinata-centric episode, that'll be nice.
Oh, you think it's going to be Hinata-centric?
I think so.
Okay. Because last one was Yuzuki, and the last time we had a Hinata-centric episode was the losing of the passport, I think.
Right. And that was more of like a comical episode. Like, there was some good stuff that they went into in there.
Right.
But
whoa, wait a minute. I'll bet if we go back and rewatch this show, we'll realize that almost every single episode has a specific girl that they focus on.
probably.
Like, every single one.
Yeah, and like a lot of the time it's like, say, Shirase, right? Because she has the most reason to be in Antarctica.
But it's very cleverly blended sometimes. Sometimes it's way more obvious, right?
Yeah, sometimes it's super obvious, but other times you don't realize it.
Yeah. But it's kind of those little things that show the clever plot structure of the show and the individual episodes.
Yeah. The way they keep it character focused.
I just realized that they were matching a seal, like lying down being like, we're seals on the ice. It was a very quick frame, but I don't think I've ever noticed that while watching the OP. Okay.
もちろん今年すぐに星が見えるような天文台は作れないけど、その気になれば何年後か
That
に
pose.
行くべきよね。
It's a classic pose.
少なくともみんなはそう思ってる。ただ、そこはタカ子が消息を絶った場所。
Yeah.
決して安全ではない。どうする？
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they'd come down here and do nothing, you know.
Oh my god.
こっちの方が中継の宣伝にもなるし。ひなた？私のもよろしく。あれ？年賀状店長だけ？さっきの友達とかにはいいの？ ほら、年賀状って言っても届くの船が日本に戻ってからだし。ちょっとトイレ。
Hey, I'm gonna get out of here before this gets awkward. Static electricity.
そんな痛かったのかな？切迫してるんじゃないですか？
And Kamari actually thinks she's in
Yeah.
electricity.
Oh. Yeah.
So it's probably something where they ghosted her, and now that she's in Antarctica, they're like, hey.
Yep. And we just had an episode previously about what friendship means. And this is about what friendship is not, basically.
Well, and we've dealt with all the preemptively negative stuff of, you know, like friends when you do something different.
Yeah.
さっきのはテストだから仮にはしないぞ。違う。出発だってさ。それは？ここから先は氷だから蒸気で穴を掘るの。あと言ったのはルンドボックスヘッドだったかな。そういう岩がむき出しになった場所があるの。へえ。信江さんに言えば連れてってくれるかもよ。行く。こちらの会場、実質の信江さん聞こえますか？どうぞ。安心不通。乾いた石とドライな愛。現在更新不能です。
That's the one that had the guy break up with her.
激しいですよね。もうやめてください。見て、すごい。
See Shirase kind of noticing that. Yeah.
People that laugh the loudest, you know.
Right. Also her kind of being a tease to other people, you know. But all in good fun, of course, but
こうして見ると面白いぞ。
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
見えるんですかね。夜になれば、ひなた。何か困ってることない？困ってること？あれだな、乾燥して唇カッサカサなのにリップもカチコチで塗りにくいの。
She's like wax on, wax off.
Shirase is usually so direct, like.
Right, I think she's nervous about it because she realizes how much it's painful for. Oh my gosh.
全然治らない。諦めた方がいいんじゃないですか。それよりしらせはさっき麻雀できるかって聞かれて、マジできるの？面白そうだから私も後ろで見てたんだけど。ねえ、人弁に語って書いてなんて読むの？あ、予備の白いの混じってるよ。その鳥か。もともとしらせは心狭いからな。だよね。
三宅さんいる？
多分お風呂です。何？
なんか吉宛てに友達からメールが来てるんだけど。
友達？
Oh, yep. That's them. No, she's done it. Oh!
ひなたちゃん。見たのか？少しだけ。勝手にそういうことするか？ちゃんと言ってよ。心配になる。何もかも隠してるんじゃないかって。私は話したくもないし、聞いたところで嫌な気持ちいいから。
I hate that you asked me.
She's sitting up at the top.
Right.
まあ要するに私が部活を辞めたきっかけの話だ。大会なんだから絶対早い人が出るべきだって。学年とか関係ないって。でも3年生この大会で引退だし。それで手を抜く方が失礼だって。
200メートル、三宅ひなた。はい。
Wow.
あんたたち何も言わなかったの？あのバカに。言いましたよ。空気読めって。
Oh wow, I
Yeah. Yep.
って怖いんだよね。それが分かってるから、なんとか私が悪いってことにしようと。
Wow.
Yeah. 噂流してさ。
Humans are scary.
それで学校辞めたんですか？じゃあ、メール送ってきたのは？その時のチームメイト。友達が南極に行ったって聞いて自慢なんだって。ああ、友達だったんだって思ったけどね。
I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit more vindictive. I'd be like, no, I'm not giving them the pleasure.
Oh, and just say like, oh, are we supposed to be friends?
Yeah.
Like on camera.
Yeah. It's just a really dick thing to do. Like,
そうされてると私が嫌な気になる。でも私がさ、なんで南極来たと思う？何にもないからだ。何のしがらみもない人と。
Yes.
行きたかったんだよ。
Awesome.
すごいじゃん。なのにこれじゃ意味ないだろう。
Exactly.
わかった。じゃあもう忘れる。白瀬？意味なくなんてない。
Oh, they care about each other so
Well, yeah.
much. It's just, oh.
ひなた。水汲みに行くから付き合って。おお。
Come with me.
先使っちゃってごめん。
Yep.
決まりさ。
Yep. Clue in. In a lot of ways, she understands what it's like to be essentially made false rumors about and, having other people all be against you like that.
もう取り返しはつかないのに謝ってきたりして。
Yep, permanent.
あのな、
Right.
平気でいられるわけない。笑ってなんかいられない。白瀬は私じゃないだろ。そうだけど。
She's about to say something profound. Yeah.
手だけでいい。白瀬余計なことばっか言ってうるさいから。
Oh.
ありがとう。 ひなた。怖
She
いんだよ。
knows you care.
Oh.
でも私たちは手だけでいいって言ってるだろ。
Hugs time, hugs
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
hugs time, yeah.
連れてきてくれてありがとう。
Shut up! We're having a moment here. I guess it was enough, yeah.
許したらさ、楽になると思うか？許したい。
Probably.
それで私が楽になるならな。けど、それでホッとしてるあいつらの顔を想像すると
Yeah.
腹は立つな。
Uh-huh.
ざけんの？
Oh, yeah.
だな。ちっちゃいな、私も。
No, you're pretty normal, Hinata.
前に一つだけいいですか？
Oh, Shirase's gonna say it for her?
白瀬ちゃん？悪いけど、三宅ひなたにもう関わらないでくれます。
Oh! Oh!
あなたたちはひなたが学校を辞めて辛くて苦しくて
Right.
毎日部活のことを思い出して泣いてると思っていたかもしれないけど
She's been having the blast of... She's having the time of her life.
そんなことないから
Yes!
ひなたちゃんは今私たちと最
Yes!
高に楽しくて
Yes, Kiori!
充実したそこにいたら絶対できないような旅をしてるのもうとっくに前を向いて
Yes! This is even better! Alright!
私と一緒に踏み出しているからいいじゃないですか優勝じゃないですか私はひなたと違って性格悪いからはっきり
Yes! Yes! Here we go!
もやもやした気持ちを引きずって生きていきなよ人を傷つけて苦しめたんだよその
Yes!
くらい抱えて生きていきなよ
Yes!
それが人を傷つけた代償だよ
Woo! Yes! Oh! Yes! Yes! Ow! Oh! Ah!
叫んなよ
Piss off! Piss off! Yes! All right! Wow! Wow! Oh!
Wait, but is it actually?
Probably.
もやろうこれでか全部ぶっ飛ばそうひなたちゃんぶっ壊れるかもしれないぞドラム缶だからいいんじゃないそっかじゃあ最初は全員だ
Nice.
せ
Oh.
ーの
Oh.
They don't actually let us hear it. Okay.
Oh.
But that was
such a good
That was really good. I
episode.
feel like I'm gonna have a smile plastered on my face for the next hour. Like I'm smiling so much my face hurts.
Yeah.
That was amazing. That was wonderful. I love you so much. Wow.
That episode in particular, I think means a lot to me specifically, like, and that's to say not to for you, but I mean, like, this episode opposed to a lot of the others that have like kind of specific kind of messages in them.
Yeah.
I just realized, no, I I'm not Kimari, I'm not other. I'm Hinata. Yeah, because I totally resonate with the kind of the putting on a smile intentionally while having a lot of past hurt and stuff, but also having kind of people do that thing. So yeah, good episode. Holy really crap. Good. Now, what's gonna be the little end thing here? Oh, the sound.
Oh,
the
right.
Sound. Yeah. Oh, that was such a good episode.
This episode was so good.
That was so good, guys.
Okay, because all right, Hinata's like. Okay, no, they're all my favorite characters.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
But it's the idea that Hinata was one of those ones that really quickly became my favorite character, but we didn't get to see the depth following along in line with that. With Kimari, it was right there in the beginning. With Shirase, it was definitely right there in the beginning. With Yuzuki, it was right there in the beginning, right? But with Hinata, we didn't really get as much of it because a lot of the times she would be just the fun, energetic, person of the
group,
which
in and of itself is a deflection from vulnerability.
Yeah, right. Which and of course the hints and all that were there of
totally
while she's out of school, why is she out of school, and all the things of talking about the
track team.
Well, the track team, yeah, the way she would like
we ended up finding out about them relatively early,
I believe
within about 4 episodes of meeting her,
but then there was also just the fact that when she talked about going to university and like how she talked about wanting to do it and all that stuff, and there was an aspect of it that was very much like to show all those other people kind of to show them up. So this was wonderful, and it was the other aspect I feel like that needed to be covered in addition to the Megu-chan episode and things like that. When people go to do something that is different and out there, where they're pushing the limits, right?
Instead of doing the thing with what Megu-chan did, which was try to
tear you down,
these are the kinds of people that want to kind of essentially exploit any kind of past connection they had with the person for the purpose of them having a little bit of a fun.
Right. Yeah, it would be like if the people that this is exactly what it is. It's what the friends the friends of Yuzuki's were when they were like, just wanting to get the picture with her or something because she was famous and things like that.
I'll tell you, Jacob, I think that even though we've been lucky to have really cool people around us that are supportive and are very much like that and stuff, with when you have your book published and stuff like that, I hope this kind of thing doesn't happen to you. In that aspect,
that's not what I'm hoping for. Because I'm assuming that will happen.
Okay,
but what I'm hoping is just that it won't bother me. It'll just be something where it's like, because here's the thing. Here's the thing. In this episode, it was a more extreme case, right? Yeah. But a lot of the times, that stuff might happen, and the people don't realize that they're doing it.
Yeah.
Right? Because
most people are not that self-aware.
Exactly.
We, in and of ourselves, when we're growing up and going through those formative years and stuff, we don't really think 2 steps ahead. We don't really think about the repercussions of our words and actions.
And a lot of the times the circumstances are not as black and white as they were in that situation. Where there was a definitive thing where they wronged her and then there was the consequence of her dropping out of school, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that most of them aren't black and white, but the feeling that people can leave you with is very definitive.
Yes.
There's no you have to see where the no. It's a very definitive thing, and I just want to say I wholly resonate with Hinata's kind of thing with that, because when Jacob and I, or at the very least when we moved for the first time, I basically lost all my friends, and I had to kind of break into a whole new kind of social setting, and you did too.
Yeah, but I was already such a hardcore introvert.
But I think what it was also is that you were also a little bit younger at the time.
Yes,
so it wasn't
I wasn't in those formative years yet. I was 10, right?
Yeah, I was 14. So when that happened, there were some really just callous people that would essentially take advantage of little things like that. And it also happened again, and I resonate a lot with Hinata with this, because I feel like Hinata doesn't want to put the burden of her past stuff on anyone else here, so she is the most positive, uplifting person there is. But she's also, she needs to vent out that frustration every once in a while. Like, I had another friend who really, really derided and kind of took every opportunity to kind of tear me down when in crowds in public areas, because they were able to sway kind of general kind of social interactions a lot better than I could, because I was just a shy introvert and stuff like that. I didn't know how to do that kind of stuff, or to even how to respond to it. And then there was an opportunity for a really cool kind of connection point, and they kind of came back and tried to use the past experience that we had for a positive gain for that connection point and stuff like that. And I remember being not at all like afraid of them at that point, and I snapped and basically told them off in front of their some close people in their life as well. Oh, and it was basically I'm done talking with you, I'm done interacting with you as well. But it wasn't until about 3 or 4 I'd say it was about 2 or 3 years later that we ended up in the same kind of social circle again, and it was there. It was another person in their life that basically orchestrated the two of us to kind of be brought back into a situation where we could, where basically I could forgive him, and I just really want to say, guys, that like, the way this show chose to handle it, I'm so glad they did that, because too many stories will just have it be like, just forgive them and move right along and stuff like that.
Or it's something where like I like the idea that basically Hinata didn't do it, because there's a part of it where it's because she would be justified in absolutely telling them to piss off, right? Yeah. But the fact that she didn't choose to do that, a part of it was probably because she was, scared of the conflict, right? Because it's a scary thing to do. But the fact that they basically had the friend come alongside and do it for her, I really liked that they did that.
Yeah.
Because
I loved that so much, because what I feel like when you're in that situation with Hinata, what you can sometimes end up doing is you kind of imagine the other person, and this is the vindictive side, I think, a little bit. You imagine the other person just being like, kind of, who cares about them, blah, 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 and they are able to move on because nothing really negative happened to them, and that kind of pisses you off, because you're like, you don't know like what you did to me, so then you want to give that, you want to communicate to them exactly how they made you feel and stuff. Like, silly enough, like, I don't know, maybe I do it, maybe I am doing something wrong with this, but I feel like, I don't know, actually, like, this hits almost a little bit too real. This happened really recently with some other people that I really respect and know, who kind of took advantage of a situation. You should know what I'm talking about, but I don't want to say on camera. Yeah, things like that.
I think I might know.
And yeah, and I wish essentially I had friends like Hinata, who were involved in those kinds of situations, to be able to go, hey, no, you don't get to basically just kind of walk this one off.
Yeah.
Who would then say the things for you that they wouldn't say, because one, you want Hinata in this place, you want someone like me, essentially, to be able to move on and not hold the grudge.
Yeah.
And that's good. I feel like that's something that makes Hinata also kind of inspiring, is to be someone that, yes, is vulnerable. You need to be vulnerable. You need to connect with those people that'll help you and stuff, but you shouldn't hold on to grudges for the sake of them, because it's not worth it. You should kind of communicate where you're at with those things, and let other people kind of do
do the telling off for you.
Like
if it ever comes to that. You don't need to exactly. You don't need to seek it out.
Because a lot of the times the best thing that you can do is just ignore them. Like the people that, you know, that you would want to tell off.
Well,
right?
Ignoring them, but it's different to say ignoring a person versus ignoring what they did. And that I don't think is realistic. You can't tell them to ignore. Forget about what they did.
No. But to, you know, ignore the person. You know, in a situation like this where they're trying to, you know, come back and be all buddy or whatever.
Right. That's rarely going to happen. Sure. My point is that that's a very rare instance. There, most of the time,
very specific.
It's a very specific instance. But when someone has wronged you like that, and in some ways, you need a little bit of closure. Just forgetting about it isn't enough. Sometimes you need someone else to basically come in and fight your battles for you.
And here's the other thing too. Relationships are communication, right? So that even in the sense where the relationship is being broken. Yeah. So a lot of times there will be situations like this, and I know from my case there have been points where I think it's a situation like this, you know, similar, but it actually isn't. And when I talk to the person, I'm like, you know, and I call them out on it, they're like, oh no, that's not what I was trying to. Sorry if it came across that way, you know, et cetera, and then it ends up getting fixed, right? Right. And not that in Hinata's situation the relationship should be patched up, but the idea that it ends up getting resolved one way or another. So, yeah. I have to acknowledge like my own kind of personal bias in this whole thing, because I am not the forgiving type with these types of people. It's a very grossly manipulative thing that unfortunately they're just not aware of most of the time. And until they're actually confronted and told off like this, they'll keep doing it. Yep, absolutely.
And the thing is that that's the thing. I feel like it's a hurtful kind of bitter bias to go at it and say that they need to be told off in order to be made aware. But that's the thing. It's gross negligence. It's the kind of thing where they're not thinking of others enough in order to actually be aware of the repercussions of their actions. Exactly. It's the same reason why I dislike gossip and bullying, is most of it boils down to people just being ignorant, and they do the stupidest things. And it's not even that like they're malicious or anything. Right. Yeah. But until they get a harsh response back, nothing, you know, intent to hurt, but basically an appropriate response of being like, hey, you know, back off. Like, what is your deal? Like, if you have any sensitivity at all, like,
it's the idea that people like to see their own actions in the best possible light, right? And they see other people's actions in oftentimes the worst possible light, right? So, you know, and people for some reason want other people to see their own actions also in the best possible light, but. So a lot of times people will like bully, for instance, and they won't realize that they're doing it. Like you were saying with the person that was sort of, you know, putting you down in like social settings and stuff. Right. A lot of the times, it might not have been a conscious thing. No. You know, or at least they might not have been conscious of the consequences of that. Right. The impact that it has.
Right. So it wasn't until, you know, the confrontation was had essentially that the people that were surrounding that person in their life came around into the next time that it was relevant to bring up, right? To have us essentially reconnect and kind of repair what was there. Yeah. To be fair, though, I still don't have any interest in developing a deeper trusting a relationship with any kind of trust in the thing there. We're basically just acquaintances now. Sure. But it's one of those things that, from the standpoint of any kind of bitterness I have towards this person, I think that's mostly taken care of. It's the aspect of where Hinata, or maybe this is more of like where Yuzuki was coming from, where with Yuzuki, she had been burned a lot in the past from trusting these people. Right. And then she basically was unable to trust the other girls in a way because of that. With Hinata, though, she, I think, took a little bit more of the ignoring route. And she's just like, everything's fine. But it wasn't until she saw them again that she she couldn't handle it. She didn't immediately kind of snap into positive positivity and go, what the heck?
She probably thought it with like some sort of inspirational quote either made up by her or that she saw somewhere of like, don't let them get you down, I'm just gonna be my awesome self. And,
but all that stuff faded away the minute she saw them on camera.
Exactly.
So that's proof that whatever she was doing wasn't a permanent solution.
Right.
And I think that that's something I've had to learn a lot as well, is that you can't just ignore it. You have to address it in some way.
Yeah.
And it's better essentially to address it than it is, like, it's better to address it badly than to not address it at all.
Sure.
And addressing it badly might ruin potential opportunities for kind of a repaired relationship in the future. But oftentimes I'd say taking that risk and having the confrontation is better than just not letting anything happen, and then you end up being the only one that's really wounded from this whole thing.
And you get better as time goes on, so if you don't do the confrontation as well as you could, that's fine. If you end up having a similar situation in the future, then you can
Wait, what do you mean you get better in the future?
You said if you don't end up, you said if your solution isn't the best solution, right? If it's not the best solution, it's still.
No, I'm saying you need to have a confrontation.
A confrontation.
A bad confrontation is better than no confrontation.
Right. Exactly. And because not only just for that specific situation, but if you end up having another similar situation in the future, you will then probably be able to do a better job with the confronting.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Right. Because this is something I wanted to bring up, is that time doesn't heal all wounds, guys.
Right.
I am wholly in disbelief of that concept. I know there are probably some people that would disagree with me. That's okay. I would say then that most people who have been wounded deeply, and I have not been wounded. I have not suffered like real trauma like a lot of other people I know have. Time didn't heal their wounds, guys.
Right.
They stayed there, but what they ended up doing is they repaired essentially their relationship with the wound. They changed their perspective on the wound. They got closure to it. The wound was still there.
Right.
It didn't
doesn't go
heal.
away.
It essentially scarred. But the thing is that you need to have some kind of addressing of it in a proper, healthy way.
Right.
But I think that this story here does a really good job of showing when you have friends like this, when you have really close friends like this that are aware of the situation, that have the opportunity to address the situation, sometimes it's really good. It's really good to trust them, lean on them. Just their hands are enough. You don't need anything else. That scene was so beautiful.
Thank you. I've been waiting to talk about that scene because oh my gosh, that was so good. Like,
I was almost upset with Kimari for interrupting
I know, right?
It's kind of like how in a romance scene when like someone comes in and cock blocks basically, someone and you're just like, go away, like C3PO, what are you doing here? Like,
like that scene was so fantastic, especially because coming from Hinata, it totally makes sense because she's a much more energetic type person, and the fact that Shirase, she might be a bit stumbling with her words and not know the best way to say things and all that.
But she doesn't need to say.
But she doesn't need to say it. She's
just be there. Just
shut
be
up,
there.
Baka. Just give me your hand.
Just give me a hug.
Yeah, exactly. Like
that's the good stuff right there. Like,
that scene was so amazing. Like What else is there to say? Like other than why didn't you guys just stay in the tent? Like, like you didn't have to say anything. Like just a few more minutes.
Yuzuki's grip is only so strong.
Yeah, right.
Like Kimai's like, it's okay, I won't interfere. He's like, oh, the food's ready. Yeah. No! And then Shirase!
Although I get the feeling they were like watching the entire conversation. Like they were just like peeking out, just like, okay.
Possibly. I loved the little sunburn gag.
Oh yeah, that was great.
So great. I mean, we had it foreshadowed from the opening, but it was so great to have Kimari be the only one that's dealing with it, and everyone else is like, "Wow, look, you got sunburn," and she's like, "Why is that the first thing you say?" Like,
yeah.
Oh, Kimari is so sweet and precious. I love it so much. She is truly a Hufflepuff, guys.
And okay, here's one of the other things that's really cool: the fact that now this might be something that's just a time constraint thing.
Okay.
But since they have 4 characters, right? These 4 girls,
Right.
that's a lot of different combinations of the different relationships between them, right?
Yep.
6 is 3, 2, 1, right? They've established all the characters very well at this point in the show, like very well.
Yep.
But one of the things that I've pointed out before is how Kimari and Yuzuki tend to be the ones that get along the best together and have the most like heart-to-heart conversations.
Unless they're sleeping in the same room.
Yeah. But like as far as like, character bonding moments, right? They tend to...
Yeah, Kimari was also kind of the leader of the Save Yuzuki kind of band.
Yeah.
Because I think that's who Kimari is.
Exactly, yeah.
She's the seeker.
Right, their personalities match together very well.
Right.
And with the case of Hinata and Shirase, they're the other sort of like, pair, besties, whatever, if you were to consider Hinata, or Kimari and Shirase.
They're more aggressive. They go after what they want. They are take charge people in specific ways. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are the type A people of the group.
Yeah, but the important thing there is that Kimari and Shirase are essentially the 2 main characters. If you had to choose 2 from the 4 that were more main characters, it would be them 2.
Yep.
So the fact that they're dealing with not just their relationship with each other, they established that very strongly at the beginning, and they kind of left that behind, and now they're having, like, not left behind in a bad sense, but now they're focusing on the 2 main characters, each with their other relationship with one of the other girls there. And the fact that Shirase had that great whole interaction with Hinata during the whole lost passport incident, right? And that they're bringing that back up again here, where she's the one that ends up basically being persistent with Hinata and being like, hey, I'm worried about you and all that stuff, and keying into all the little signs and stuff that Yuzuki and Kimari didn't, right? Mm-hmm. They just sort of were like, okay, yeah, it's fine, right. Hinata's Hinata. She's totally okay. I really like that they did that, because that's good stuff.
I wish they had gone into it a little bit more. It's probably just because of time constraints again, but I was mentioning in the episode that it makes sense that Shirase knows a little bit about what Hinata's going through, because the whole thing of having the people around you essentially turn on you and spread false rumors about you, and make it so you don't even want to go to school. Make it so school itself is kind of a hostile environment. Something where the people that should have been friends with her essentially abandon her because of something that she did that was kind of an excelling thing. Now, let me know if I understand this correctly. Hinata excelled so much at track that she ousted third years from their potential position in a championship track meet or something like that.
Right.
And that would have been their last chance. But because she went and gave her all into this, she was chosen and they weren't. And then she looked back, seeing like, "Are you guys approve?" And they're like, "No, we're not happy with you."
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Even though she literally asked, like, granted, she didn't ask the third years, but
she asked her friends, like, would this be a good idea? Like, because I don't want to take away their, opportunity in the spotlight. And
here's the thing: it's not that the third years were upset, because that could simply be the classmates like not cluing in, whatever. There's going to be jerks out there,
totally.
But it's the fact that the classmates basically went behind her back and said, "Oh no, we were totally telling her not to do this thing," and not just that,
spread all the
not
rumors.
even just that, because that could be something where they get nervous and they say something they didn't mean to, and they're like, "Oh crap," and they and they try and make things right. But
then they ghosted her.
They persisted it. They kept spreading rumors about her even after she left school. Like, come on, Now that I think about it,
now you're on my side about the being vindictive.
Oh no! I'm all for that. Like,
okay,
I'm all for that.
Piss off.
Yeah, absolutely. But all four of our girls have had situations like that.
Yes, in varying degrees.
In varying degrees and situations, but
yeah.
Kimari with Megami. Megami. I almost said Megamine. Megu-chan. And then Shirase with basically the whole school, everyone, right? Yeah. Yuzuki with the two girls,
the fake friends.
The fake friends, and now Hinata with the track team.
It's like the show is trying to tell us something.
Yeah.
It's that when you go after your dreams, guys, when you go after the thing that's seemingly impossible to your peers, you're going to have to abandon your old way of doing things.
Sure.
And a lot of times your old friends.
Right.
One of the things that's very, very weird. Let me tell you guys something. This is very weird. Is that when you have friends that get uncomfortable when you are excited. Let me explain this to you. Like this is something that's a very not healthy thing to have in your friends. It's basically when you get excited about something. So you come back. It's kind of essentially what Hinata did, where she's like, "Yeah, I got the thing,
yep.
yes." And she turns around to see you guys are excited because I'm excited, right? Nope, contempt. We didn't even get to see their faces, so we're left to imagine what they actually looked like. But let's say, oh, here's a great example. Like Jacob, you're about to publish a book.
Yeah,
that's so cool. You publish it, and let's say it's massively successful, successful, and you are just shouting from the rooftops, "I'm so excited, my book, this is so cool." And you have like, you know, 50% of the friends that are really excited with you. You have like 35% that are like excited, and they're like, yeah, go. Like, but they
cool.
Yeah, sure, cool. That's awesome. And then you have that weird like other 15% where they're like,
or they literally, you know,
or they're just like, oh, stop talking about that so much.
Right? Yeah, stop bragging. You know, like Mega-chan. I love that line. I freaking love that line.
Yep.
Like,
guys, because that's a real thing that happens.
It is. Yeah.
There's you know, like, you know, crabs in a bucket. Basically, when one crab tries to crawl out of the bucket, the other crabs pull them down.
And not just a bucket, a boiling pot of water. Something, or they can be in a situation where they're going to die in there, right? And they actually pull them back down. And here's the thing why I think the fact that they showed that the four girls basically had those issues with their friends, and those different responses in different circumstances and all that stuff is so important. They went and did something that they never would have thought possible.
Yes.
Now, in Kimari's case, she had to actively deal with the friend, and she handled it
while she was acquiring the dream.
While she was acquiring the dream, and she had to do it, and she handled it in a very impressive way. Like
very impressive.
Like take my hat off, maturity, all that stuff. It was incredible, right?
Yeah.
You have Shirase, who's more of like the general like understood thing of that's the kind of thing that you'll have to deal with, right?
Right.
Just being
she
the weirdo,
pushes through it because of her mom, also Todogin helping her
absolutely
fight through it and stuff.
And Shirase in that sense is different from the others, because in the others' case, they were in a situation where they already were basically not all of them, but Yuzuki and Hinata were having a case where they were already being ousted or had been ousted by the people that they thought were their friends, right? So it was easy for them to decide to go to Antarctica.
Yes.
With Kimari, she decided on a whim and ended up going through it, and then she ended up pushing through it because someone had already gotten her on the journey, right?
Right.
But the thing is that Shirase, we don't see her previous friends.
Yep.
And that's the crazy thing, because in order to do something that you've never done before, you'll have to go places that you've never gone and do things that you've never done in order to get there,
Not everyone's willing to go to those places.
Not everyone's willing to go to those places, because a lot of the times there have to be basically costs and sacrifices that you make of, you know, just like things from how you live your life to the people that you allow to basically speak into your life.
Or another aspect of it is they feel like they need some kind of dream of their own that goes along parallel with yours, because they're not comfortable just sitting around supporting your dream. Basically, that they need some kind of selfish aspect of it, because like another way, let's say Kimari wasn't going to go to Antarctica.
Sure.
But she devotes so much of her time then to just cheering on and supporting and encouraging and bolstering Shirase so that she can go to Antarctica.
Yeah.
Very few people would do that.
Very few people. What will happen?
That's like
is,
your mother.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Like it.
Yeah, because what will happen is, and Shirase mentions that in the first episode, is that a lot of people say that, but they don't actually do it. And I think that's why she asked her to come with her. She asked Kimari to come with her, because that was how she knew that she would they would be encouraging each other, right? Because they're both on the same journey. They're both going to the same place.
Yep.
So all along the way, they can be encouraging each other, because we're human. Like, I don't think I would have that kind of fortitude to be able to sit in one place and encourage someone else with doing a thing while not doing something myself.
It's really hard.
Like, it's really hard. Like, it's hard.
That's why if you want actually to help make, you know, someone else kind of come on and be a partner with you with something, you make them a part of everything. Like you really invest in their belief in the dream. Like you really build up their own belief in themselves and all that, and then, you know, it'll end up working out a lot better if it ends up working.
That's one of the things that blows my mind when like I look at other, say, like YouTube channels where there's just the one person doing it. Like, and when they get big, they might have assistants and people helping them and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but but the idea of like doing a one-man show, that's hard. Like we are so lucky in this situation.
Yeah.
But so I don't know. This has been kind of rambling, but
no. I think it's really important because this episode brings up all of this because it's the final. It's the final nail in the, not nail in the coffin, but it's the final stud in the piece, essentially.
The thing that needed to be addressed with that whole topic, and that's what I feel makes this show so much better than just if it was just a cute girls doing cute things show, because it could do that, and the characters are amazing, so that's fantastic. But it's not just that it has good characters and that it's, you know, entertaining. It's the fact that it has this other aspect to it that rings true in our minds and our hearts, so that we're like, there's something here. I'm learning something here, right? I can apply this to my own life. And Madhouse. Thank you. This show is
still got 2 more episodes too.
Yep.
I almost feel like they got this out of the way before the finale.
Yeah,
I
wonder
next
if
2
that,
episodes are kind of the finale where things go into like really intense story
and
stuff.
they mention that too, because the whole thing of the observatory and it's dangerous over there, and our girls better be all right.
Yeah, and they just said like, so are we gonna do this? And it seemed like once they transitioned to one of them putting a stamp in something for the satellite broadcast or whatever, it was like, oh no, they were sending New Year's cards. That's what they were doing, and that was basically when you have that stamp. It's like stamp of approval. So they are going there.
Yeah, I mean there was a straight up like Gendo Ikari pose there.
That pose,
you know,
guys. That's like the anime pose where you don't have to animate the mouth as the person does like the
Although I think in her case she actually was like this, but still
no, she had it in front of her mouth.
Oh, okay.
I was like that's the pose.
So but that makes me worried, because that means this is a dangerous decision, right? This is one of those tough leadership decisions kind of a thing,
right?
So,
but I just think that could come up with some really cool aspects.
Oh yeah, it'll be amazing.
For the girls
if we end up having something where like one of the girls gets lost out there and then they're needing to like go find her or something like that, I am going to lose it. I am going to lose it.
I feel like John trying to hear like, oh, you know, like, because that's the kind of drama in this show that I kind of live for.
I know. But
because
like
these girls, I love them so much.
Yeah,
I love them so much.
But we want to see them overcome everything.
When I see them struggle, and when I see them like coming together and overcoming it, power of friendship and all that, I'm just like, oh yes. So good. That's the good stuff, guys. That's the good cheese. All right, guys. This is a fantastic episode.
Yes.
Brought up some great real life stuff, and we got to kind of summarize all the 4 girls' journeys with having people that reject them going after the dream, or just trying to mulch off of them after they've come out of the dream. So take advantage of that. But our girls have each other. They're going forward. They will have their ice
Penguin
drills pierce the South Pole. I don't know.
Pierce the
go beyond.
Yeah.
It'll be awesome, guys. If you want to watch the next episode's reaction right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length reactions there. And all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us about stories or whatever. And if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.